So this being the fourth time we've done this, I've been through this a lot with Frank, and uh, my role in these deals tends to be raising the capital. And so I always hammer Frank, and you'll probably grin at me, but I always hammer him on, okay, what if this happens? What if this happens? And one thing that I do like about the way Frank thinks about real estate deals. So let's take the very first deal we did, which was RVA 75. There were 75 properties in that deal. Immediately a pandemic hit, and we were like, holy shit, this is really bad. Like, everything just, there was like a month where we just were like, oh man, like we're gonna have some bad phone calls to make. But because we didn't know if the whole world was just going under. But what happened is interest rates went down. It made and inflation went up. So all of those properties got much more expensive. So we looked at that. One exit there was, let's get the hell out now. Like this thing ripped way better than we ever could have thought. We sort of got lucky. We didn't do most of the work. We never really even needed to collect as much of the cash flow. We got out and gave everyone a 30 some percent return in 1 year. Interesting enough, the next deal we did, Westwood, the opposite happened. The opposite happened. Interest rates took off on us. They got much higher, and inflation kind of took off again. And so inflation on that deal was a double-edged sword. On that one, inflation sucked because one of the aspects of exiting on that deal was a 12, was it 12 or 16 condo uh, project that we were going to do with a church. And we had the permits, we had everything ready, but everything got very expensive. And so doing that deal didn't make as much sense. But the other side of it, inflation was so good to us on the commercial rents that we had so much cash flow coming in that we were able to pay out our investors significantly more than we initially promised. And so, what I like about the way Frank thinks about real estate deals, he always has multiple exit plans and he always has multiple contingency plans. So, sure, it's great if the market takes off and real estate gets expensive. Of course, any idiot can just speculate, and there is some form of speculation in any investment. That's why the hell you're investing. You're trying to speculate a little bit. But I'm always, because these are people that when I raise capital, it's not from randoms. They're people that I know and that trust me and that I trust. I'm always looking for, okay, what about the worst? What about the worst? And Frank told me on that Westwood deal, if this happens, the worst case scenario, here's what I think will happen. Cash flow will do this. This is some other things we can do. He had multiple things he could do with that project that, yeah, the investment time frame went a little bit longer, but in the short term, it still was positive for investors.